I wanted to buy a Kitchenaid Nespresso machine in silver to match a few other Kitchenaid appliances we had, but we could only get them second-hand as they stopped making them. They look beautiful, but there seemed to be a common fault in that a lot of these machines leak water from behind the spout where the coffee comes from into the drip tray. I read a few forums and thought I'd take a punt on buying a faulty machine for around £50, which is about $60 or $70. It arrived with the water leak fault and was a bit smelly. So here's a video of how I fixed it. Now this is for a very specific fault where the water leaks from behind the coffee pod release chamber when there's a pod inside the machine. If there's a leak somewhere else on your machine, this isn't the video or fix for you. Some people have had luck with thoroughly descaling their machine, or it might just be that you're not using genuine Nespresso pods. Double check these things before attempting this. I found this video online of how to take apart the Kitchenaid Nespresso machine, which is pretty fantastic. I'll put a link in the video notes as I won't be posting it here because it's very comprehensive and they deserve the views for that video. But you only need to follow it to a certain point. So when you get to around 8 minutes 46 seconds, stop following the instructions because you don't need to take off the button on the front, take off the sides or cut through any clips. And I didn't even have to take the power cables out, with the blue and brown wires here from the UK model and as shown at around 5 minutes and 52 seconds in the video. For me, I couldn't pull them out because they were pretty tightly stuck. You can keep the machine fairly intact and you should be able to get to a point where your coffee machine looks a bit like this. The less you take your machine apart, the less you have to put it back together. As you can see right here, the steam cap just fell off when I gave it a little prod. I had seen it referred to as a steam cap, but I've also seen it called a steam cover or nozzle. And as you can see, it's fairly caked in coffee and possibly mould. In this case, I found out the actual issue was the steam cap clip had come off on the bottom. It just seems to have snapped off. If you look at a comparison of the old damaged one and a brand new one, you can see the difference and what the issue is. The good thing is you can just apparently buy any Nespresso steam cap / cover / nozzle. The one I bought was a steam cap for a Krups Nespresso machine and it cost me around £4, which I guess would be about $6. I'll put a link in the description. I had to clean the section of the coffee machine where the cap had come off. It was covered in old wet coffee grounds, so I just gave it a little bit of a clean with a sponge. You can also use a toothbrush as well, just to get into those little crevices, those little small bits of plastic. I managed to clean out as best I could and gave it a wipe over with some kitchen towel. And this is how it looks after I've cleaned it. To put the new steam cap on, I attached the bottom clip from the underside first, so that the clip was in place and then just kind of levered it backwards until the top clip makes a little snapping sound, which indicated that it was locked in place. Once that's done, just follow the instructions of the Kitchenaid video again. It goes through the process of putting the coffee machine back together, as well as taking it apart. Once I had put the machine back together, I decided to use the coffee machine without the espresso cup holder. I pressed the button and sadly, the water was still coming out of the back. I was a little bit confused because I thought I'd fixed the problem. However, I then thought I would put an Nespresso capsule pod in. I pressed the button, water started to come out of the back again. As soon as the coffee started coming through the nozzle, there was no more water coming out the back. So it sort of worked, but I was a little bit disappointed that it still leaked. However, for those of you with keen eyes, you'll have probably noticed that I used a compatible Nespresso capsule with a red plastic container. This is because I'm cheap and can't bring myself to pay 30p for a genuine capsule from Nespresso. I still couldn't, so I bought some Nespresso compatible capsules with aluminium containers, much like the genuine capsules. Yes, I'm aware I say aluminium and not aluminum because I'm British. If you compare the red plastic compatible pod with the purple aluminium version, the metal ones have a more elongated base, which might factor into why you should probably buy correct shaped aluminium ones, as it will fit inside the capsule holder more snugly. So as soon as I started using aluminium pods instead, only a small amount of water leaked out the back, so I'd say that's a win. So there we go. I fixed my Kitchenaid Nespresso machine. Thanks very much for watching. Hope you're able to fix your machine too.